In order, we'll catch. I'm gonna call the meeting in order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. I know last month we were asking about Sam Fargo. Sam is on the call today. Everybody else is on Zoom. The only person not here so far is Matt. So, I'm gonna go there. And is Christine on there? I want to see Christine.
And Christine, yeah, was. Hi, Lou.
Hi, everybody.
Got the right email.
Sorry, I'm
Okay, so I know you guys got the minutes a little bit late, but you should have them today. I just want to, if everybody's had a chance to look them over, I entertain a motion to accept the minutes as approved. We have a motion.
So moved.
Who's that? Sam.
It's Sam.
Second,
second.
Katie? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Well, it's unanimous. Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna move on to marketing and communications update. I'm gonna put this up.
I didn't know if, does Kevin want to go first? Because I know he had a.
Sure, really, we can go through it quickly, but it's revised brand standards. I just hadn't put together the download links because Connor did volunteer earlier in the day to put together some example ads or work with it. But the presentation I sent to you earlier, Mark.
You can screen share if you want on your
Okay.
side.
All right, great. I'll just do that.
Thank you.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So I'll just go through here, jumping ahead. So what we've gone through, and we're going to get download links with all the usable assets for these items, but we have our logo. We talk why we're doing it and the look and feel. We want to bring a bold, joyful, celebratory design system to life to match the excitement fostered by the commission. So that's really the goal. Now we talked about it.
Have them on there. Can you get
What?
them? There, we're fixing our screen, Kevin. Much better.
Okay, sorry.
They just want to see you, that's it.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't miss that. All right. These were the examples you saw before with, the full beautiful color, which we like when we go to these neon colors. Imagine how that would look downtown, starting to look, pretty vibrant. You can see how this might look as a long stretched out banner here where the type is really doing a lot of the work and the color would be, rather breakthrough there. When you get to socials, you have the neons really help when you go full screen. But even when it's just in a traditional square post, the logo and the type do a lot of work to deliver that branding. It feels like an institution. It feels like a movement on the front foot, not looking backwards. So really happy about that. And so the actual assets, we have our colors. Here, we have our standard, the complement, the bold assets of the logo. Our color palette should be just as bold, so we have this, really heavy, dynamic, almost, character looking like black and white logo. We're bringing that to life with these, really vibrant colors. They should be contextual to not overwhelm the layouts or feel out of place, So you need to consider the applications across the image usage, time of year, contextual placement. And then we want to limit that to 2 colors per layout, because otherwise you could very easily, have an overwhelming design here. Our type will be big and bold as well, punchy and impactful. We want to keep consistent with the weights throughout a piece, because otherwise then you can get real, it seems like different fonts too much. We're pretty standard leading throughout. All the specs are aligned here. These very basic and standard brand guidelines. There's something we added here as a hand-drawn element. This could draw attention to something. So we'll have these and you could place them over a date, a piece of the artwork, a time, anything that you want to highlight to, and this will give it that, or more organic feel, but it won't get wild by having unlimited squiggles everywhere. So it really does a nice job of doing that. And you saw that in the previous examples. Those few hand-drawn elements really take it out of a standard type layout, make it feel bespoke. When using images, the content from the brand shouldn't interfere with critical pieces of the image, but complement it. So obviously the logo doesn't get placed, say, over the face of the bird. In this one example, we have the type up and off to the left. We don't get too crazy or finicky with our typesetting, because we want this to be really, really easy to make, really easy to use. The bold font allows us to, again, not have to overwhelm an image with type, so it still becomes very readable from a distance, or thumb stopping when it's in social. You can see a template here. We use a simple grid layout that can help anyone understand how we would make sure you're having the right balance of type and logo in a piece. Layouts without images, then the type gets bigger. So I think anyone can understand that. This is with images, this is without images. Our color becomes the quote image, so to speak. And we're able to lay in our copy really boldly. Grids as well for those with the margins called out. And that's what we have. So these will be simple for us to create. It's just type anytime we're announcing something with a bold color. And then this system should be very, very easy to use, no matter the images we're working with. My normal brand standards that we create for brands are, 70 pages, 80 pages, 100 pages. That's not what we need or want here. We want a simple, effective, 8 pages of guiding, so that we can be really consistent in the work we put out.
Great, Kevin, thank you. Connor, you had something to add to this?
Yeah, so I took what Kevin just presented and just very briefly put together a little beginner package, if you will, for our social media. So I just wanted to go a little bit more through some of these points. And Mark and Mary Alice and I met, gosh, is that before Christmas now? I don't even remember. In December, to kind of talk through how we can keep up things and how I can work with Mary Alice in the office there to make sure that we have continuity through this thing. So the first thing, we have pulled the handles Fairfield Arts Commission on both Facebook and Instagram. Some of the things that I looked at before I kind of dove in was the San Francisco Arts Commission, which has like over 7,200 followers on Instagram. So I thought that was a good one to look at, because it's got quite a following and they're promoting a lot of work. Theirs is a little bit different from my understanding. It's kind of its own organization because they have employees and such. But still, from the way we can promote things, I definitely was looking at that. And then locally, the Norwalk Arts Commission, to kind of see what they were up to. So like I said, the Instagram and Facebook handles have been acquired, and that's just Fairfield Arts Commission. For my brain, unless we can totally open it up for discussion, I think Instagram and Facebook would be our starting spot. I think right now, doing anything more might get a little tedious and might require more of a full-time role. So obviously I and whoever would kind of, hopefully maybe there's another person that wants to join in this effort would work closely with Kevin and all those graphics and visuals to make sure that we have, you know, a branded look on Instagram and Facebook, which a lot of the work he's already done will be easy to pull from to create some of the things. So we had talked about in previous meetings what the launch could look like. At Black Rock Theater, we actually just rebranded in April, so I'm a little familiar with like the launch of a logo and things. And that would just be simply our logo that Kevin came up with, which is great, our mission statement, and kind of a short blurb on what's to come and what people can expect. Along with that, on the opposite side of things, I would be working diligently to make sure that the Instagram page is following all of the arts organizations in town, so they start to know organically that we exist. After that, my idea was to highlight the commissioners, because I think we are the stewards for this commission and people should know who serves on the commission. And that way, when we're all in public, if people see us, they can come up to us, talk to us with ideas, etc. And that could be, if you have a photo that you like, you could send me, or I'm happy to, you know, set a time aside on the weekend or something. I have a camera, we could do some quick, nice photos for everybody. Or we could do it quickly at the end of the meeting, whatever works
Yeah, I
best.
was just gonna say at the next meeting, that'd be a good thing.
We could totally do that. Easy enough to throw up a little backdrop and take some headshots for people. And that way, actually, if we do that, it would be nice because then it'll be a full branded look as opposed to like everybody having a different type of photo. And we'll ensure that the quality is good. We also talked about like kind of highlighting things. So these next 3 posts would be 3 posts per arts organization or artist, etc. So the first one in the series could be a photo of the building or artist with copy that simply highlights who they are and where they're located in town, if applicable. The next one could be a photo of their work, whether it's you know, a photo of their painting or a sculpture or a concert, theater event, etc. And the copy could talk about the artist's style, mission statement if they're a nonprofit, and what they do, and upcoming ways that the community can support. And mind you, all of this copy is, you know, 2 sentences max. It's short. And then the third one would be a short reel, which is Instagram's video, what they call their video platform now. That would be like a quick interview, a couple questions to either the artist or artistic director, executive director, with some questions. Why are you in Fairfield? How can Fairfielders support the work you do? What's upcoming? Again, just to make this personal and start to put faces behind organizations and work, etc. Other posts, a lot of the other social channels do, you know, simple holiday special event posts, you know, whether it's Father's Day, like just those things that you stay, you know, prevalent. We talked about highlighting arts related events happening in town. Specifically, if we decide to have any special events, we would obviously highlight those. Mary Alice reminded me that World Art Day is April 15th and National Art Day is October 25th. So those would be things that we have coming up. So now with the highlights, those 3, if we're saying basically that would be a week, we would kind of do 3 to 4 posts per week. So,
A lot of content.
well,
That's a lot.
it is, but so like those 3 things, that's all done in, you can capture that in 45 minutes.
Which 3 things? The highlights?
The highlights, right? So I can spend a little time on the front end to get us 4 to 6 organizations. And then for 6 weeks, 2 months, we have our content.
Push go.
And that's why, you know, like the first 2, 3, and 4, that can be submitted to us. We don't even have to go do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, so number 5, if I had another person doing it with me and I said, here are your questions, we could split the work up.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally, it's, Reels, what I've learned, and I almost didn't like it at first, Reels are supposed to be like super organic and make it feel like you're having a conversation with someone, not professional looking videos.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, so this should take us with just the list we have now, excuse me, that this should take us probably through the end of the year. once we kind of do our due diligence on the organizations and artists in town, this is a nice way to, I think, get us going. And then obviously the other posts in between are intermingled. And we could also work towards, and I don't think we have to do it right away. We had maybe talked about like on Fridays, similar to what some of the other social channels do, saying here's what's going on for the weekend, or here's what's going on for the week in Fairfield, how you can support. The next slide just has a little bit of research from those 3 different ones. So you could see some of it is organic photos, a lot of it is graphics, which I would work kind of with Kevin to make sure that it feels like it fits our brand. I think having Kevin is a major asset, for lack of a better word, for us.
Yeah, you can see here how these are all over the place, even though they're one brand for all these people, and they don't, the San Francisco one's a little better, but it's still a bit, here and there.
Hodgepodge, totally.
Yeah, and that's, we can do a little bit crisper than that for sure.
Yeah, so I think you take, obviously I didn't give you, blown up of each post, but we could take some of these ideas, and then make them fit within our brand to have it be a nice visually appealing platform. And then the next one was just a quick example. I would work with Kevin on this though. Yeah, it's just like how we could highlight some of our commissioners, so using the logo as kind of a watermark and having a nice photo on.
These pictures.
And those I just pulled from
Look
LinkedIn.
at that
so,
guy. Look at that guy. I mean,
yeah, so
That's
that's
like, looks like Vanity Fair pictures.
but that's the difference between a professional shot and what we all usually do. Yeah.
totally. So yeah, that I think can get us going for sure.
What's your target start date?
I think we need. Our last meeting, we were gonna see what Kevin came up with, and I think,
We're just waiting to finalize the assets and we're ready.
yeah,
to go.
I think once we finalize those, obviously now if we're pushing. I really wouldn't want to launch anything until I know I had 3 weeks worth of content.
Yeah.
So I think if we plan on doing photos in the next meeting, then probably shortly after that, I would like to start with anybody on the commission who potentially has some relation to, so like FTC and SHU and absolutely, Christine's the studio. I mean, we would kind of hit Quick Center. We would kind of hit who we know first, because it'll be a little bit easier because we already have communication with each other.
Yeah.
I
agree.
And I think, that will certainly get us to the beginning of summer.
Great. What do we wear?
What do you wear? As I tell our students, yeah, you wear something that is not,
You're on
Mute,
mute, Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, come as you are, but no crazy patterns, right?
yeah,
Usually,
no crazy patterns, and you want the camera to be looking at, you want the attention on your face.
No, but I think that what you already saw with Kevin and Katie, if those are the pictures you can use, we should kind of look like that.
Those are just on their LinkedIn. We'll do everybody's. Yeah,
And
Yeah,
part of
that's-
part of
Yeah,
Kevin's head.
so they're consistent.
yeah.
Okay.
That was literally, I just went on LinkedIn and pulled their photo.
All right, so it looks like we're all set with that. I know you looked at the chat. Was there?
Yeah, if anybody's comments or suggestions, again,
Microphone,
Just
it
say
says we can delete.
issues. I think we're good.
All right, if we don't have any more comments on that, we're gonna move on to the next next item. The cultural art. Go ahead.
Ready?
No, I was saying, I just love the logo. I think it's great. Prefer the more of the Haight Ashbury look versus the black, Brooklyn look. But
Yeah, I know,
it's
Sam, you said
great.
you're gonna go back and look at the other meetings online and you'll see the 3 logos and what we chose from, but
Yeah. Those are
Yeah.
great.
yeah, Kevin did a
That's
great
great.
job.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, so next item is the art and cultural district designation and an update to authorize a letter of intent. Mark.
So we've been talking around this for a while. I think the next step in the process, I have looked at, we do meet the standards and criteria for establishing an arts and cultural district. Next step would be to provide a letter to our designated regional service organization, Cultural Alliance of Fairfield County, indicating our intent to establish an arts and cultural district. And then they would help us through the process. The big steps, obviously, things that we've developed an inventory. It's a working product of arts cultural assets, not just in the downtown, but throughout Fairfield. We need to define a geographic boundary. Obviously, that's for the purpose of the application, but it's not necessarily, to be limiting in a way, because once you have an arts and cultural district, no one's really observing a geographical boundary. It's not like there's a marker somewhere. And the other big one is obviously at some point we'll have to have a public meeting of some sort to get community input. And the thought was perhaps that could be done in conjunction with a broader conversation about the arts within Fairfield sometime this first quarter, but we'll need to obviously put some more skin on the bones there in terms of developing that concept further. An agenda, determining a location to hold the meeting. So my thought, and again, trying to keep things on moving forward. If the commission's okay, we could authorize the chair to submit a letter to the Cultural Alliance indicating that our intent is to establish a cultural district and then go from there.
So this would be a letter that you would compose?
I would draft it for you.
And then we would submit it to the commission for them to read, or or you don't have to?
I don't know that we necessarily, it's
Okay.
gonna be very short and sweet. So if you're okay with authorizing the chair to submit a letter signaling our intent to establish an arts cultural district, Fairfield, Cultural Alliance.
All right, so what Mark is suggesting is we have to make a motion to authorize me to send the letter to the Cultural Arts Alliance. The way motions work, is you have to have somebody presents the motion, somebody has to second it. If they don't, it dies. And if they second it, then you go to full vote, the majority. If the majority approves of it, then it passes. If the majority doesn't approve of it, then it doesn't pass. Any questions about how motions work?
I motion that Charlie writes the letter.
Well, Mark's gonna write the letter. I'm gonna, it's gonna be one of the name
Oh,
on it.
motion to sign the letter that Mark writes.
Submit it.
I'll second that motion.
Second, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Any
Aye.
opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, so we move on to that. All right, you're gonna have a discussion now, scheduling a community open house or a conversation on the arts.
Again, something we've talked about in the past.
And
And
we have to get this ball
just
rolling.
wanted to see if there would be somebody on the commission that would be interested in working with staff to identify a location and kind of develop a itinerary for the event, that type of thing. So
So you say we work with staff, what are we talking?
me.
You.
You,
Hey, work with me.
who wants to work with Mark?
know.
All the hands are up, look at that.
But, we've talked about it, so I
Yeah.
think.
And we have venues.
Yeah,
We
we
have
have venues.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of
I was
great-
gonna make a motion to actually set up a subcommittee, but if you don't want to do a subcommittee, just volunteer to make that work, that would, that's all fine too.
I'm sure if
I don't
it's-
know what's the best way to operate. That's the,
Well, if we set up a subcommittee, you'll need to create minutes for those subcommittee meetings. And my
Okay.
thought was maybe we could do that by simply just having somebody decide to lead the group, the conversation. And that'll be supported by myself and Mary Alice in my office, and then any other commission member that would like to help out. I'm sure that would be greatly appreciated.
I'll work with
Somebody
you on
should-
that if
should
that's
want
okay.
to-
Yeah, I'll do
Somebody
that.
take the lead. That would be great.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Do you have a date in mind, Mark, that you'd like to have this
I
meeting?
don't, that's part of it. Establish a date, establish a venue, and establish an agenda or itinerary for the event, something that would.
I think our social media should be up before we.
Oh,
That
of
was-
course,
yeah, I agree.
yeah, and if it doesn't, because, by the time we roll out social media, it might be February. If it slips into April as opposed to March, I don't think that's a big deal.
I was gonna say, I mean, yeah. Especially it could be a little bit warmer, like just we don't have to deal with
Right, run right into it.
elements. When is our February meeting?
20th,
The 20th. Okay.
it's gonna be 6 o'clock. I mean, weather could get nice and it could be nasty in March too, you just don't know.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Would it be helpful for those of us that are connected to a venue on February, bring up open dates we have in the springtime? I know the Quick, we have a ton of events, so it might be helpful if I can say, this is what the Quick has to offer.
I think that'd be
Mhm.
great. And Matt, I'm sure that you could do the same for Shu.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so. Yes, there's a lot of venues with open dates and we'll figure out where we're gonna go. We can put that table out to the next meeting. The actual location.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to,
Be in March, is what it's.
really is just have somebody that's gonna take the lead in terms of developing it. You know, we're gonna have to. I think partly how we wanna run, what the event is. And how the public can engage will maybe inform the type of venue we wanna select too.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how we want to do it at this point, but that just needs some.
So then we don't have to wait till March to have a meeting to decide what it's gonna.
No, I think if Sam wants to take the lead, we can talk, other members that are interested in, providing some input in that process can reach out to him, but then Sam can bring it back to the next meeting. Here are some initial thoughts, kind of what you guys did with the logo and the social media strategy. Here's what we're thinking in terms of agenda. Here's what we're thinking in terms of venue or, potential date. It has to be informed by availability, but.
All right, so we'll look forward to more info. in
It's an
February.
evening. We're talking about an evening?
I think
For the
so,
meeting-
but we need to
To
establish
which,
that.
the meeting with Mark or the open house? Oh,
Yeah,
And do we want a weekend or, that's.
to be decided.
Yeah, I mean, originally when which I was gonna put into a sort of presentation-ish, is to discuss that, and now I'm not gonna make a motion for a subcommittee because I'm not doing that, so. But I was looking, actually, I started to play around with dates, and one of them was April 6th, which is the beginning of April. It is a Saturday, and it gives us some time, weather permitting, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, we can always move that up. It's only a suggestion. So, as we start to lay things out and see how much time we really need to get something, because we want to get as much community involvement as we can, so.
Yeah. Weekends would do that, but weekends might also hurt with venues having an open date. So that.
Well, yeah,
That's all
depending
gotta
what
be-
time.
That's all gotta be
Yeah.
figured out. but-
No, absolutely, yeah, look, yeah, yeah, the answer is gonna be yeah.
Does
We have
anybody else
multiple-
want to join with Sam to meet with Mark to go over these ideas?
If there's interest, you can just let us know.
Okay, anything else on that?
No, that's it.
Okay, the next thing we have on the agenda is the annual report we have to submit to the RTM.
Was wondering if I could impose upon our secretary to kind of glean from our last 6 months of meetings as to like the highlights that we can incorporate into a one pager that we can send to the RTM. I'm sure at some point, this could also be part of your whole social media campaign or publicity campaign. In that, an opportunity.
Get grilled by the RTM.
Opportunity to also present before, I'm sure, the Board of Selectmen
Yeah,
as to what's going on with the Arts Commission, but also the RTM. That's part of the ordinance that we're supposed to provide an annual report. We haven't had the benefit of a full year of operation, but I think we can probably at least give them an update as to where we are.
Great.
When would you like that by?
I think we can maybe bring the draft to the next meeting,
The next February, to the February.
February meeting,
Okay.
yes.
I mean, obviously you have something earlier, you can always just submit it,
Yeah.
let's see it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving right along. Anything left under old business?
You set a good standard for us, Charlie.
I don't have that many hours left in my life, I like to move on, you know. it's-
Very efficient.
I don't know what I got left
I
here.
feel like we have to.
Yeah, as we get older, time gets shorter, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
the most valuable commodity we have. You can make money, lose it, you get more money, but you can't get back time once you lose it. Anything else under old business while we're there? Nothing, haven't,
Maybe just a brief thing that may or may be neither here or there, but I was at APAP this weekend in the city and I saw some really striking outdoor art examples and agencies that do that in particular. So I'd just love to share those for consideration.
You can go ahead if you have pictures you want to share it.
Oh, I'd have to organize it. Right now, all my APAP stuff is.
All right, all right.
It looks
That's
great.
good.
It looks beautiful.
So
Well
I will
done.
organize it for next
I
time.
thought you were like ready to get us a
Oh,
PowerPoint or
Far from it. I
something.
got back today and I'm just excited and overwhelmed, but it'll
Okay.
take till next time to put them in some kind of orderly fashion.
Maybe everybody else knows, but I don't know what APAC is, Matt, tell me.
I'm so sorry. So it's the convention for presenters and what is it? Presenters and what's the other word? Performers. So it's basically all in New York, January every year, all like the agencies get together at the Hilton in Midtown there in New York. And they have booths for all kinds of performers and agencies and all the venue operators from around the country and the world to some extent get together and either share knowledge or you see showcases of artists and meet with the agents that were yelling at on the phone all year and get ideas and bookings and all that stuff. Highly recommended, but 4 days intensive meetings and kind of information sharing. The website will do more justice than my description, but that's the gist of it.
Thank you for bringing Matt.
Yeah,
Anything other new business?
Oh, new business. You want new business? I have a new
Oh, we got
business.
some.
Let me do this. Let me go to a.
You should be able to share something, Sam.
I am. I'm doing. Okay. So first, I want to wish everyone an artistic Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Love it.
Okay, and then I had a bunch of motions. Now I have one. So, and I motion we designate the Fairfield Cultural District, and my suggestion is South Pine Creek to South Benson Road, 95 corridor to Oldfield / Old Post, because that's the only sort of road that goes across. Would be the sort of approximate. And the reason I'm laying this out there is so we do, and I think Mark had constantly said this, is we can have an area, but that doesn't really restrict us. So just so we launch an area. And this is your basic, if I'm not mistaken, most of your downtown. Is that about correct, Mark?
Pretty much.
Does it cut off the green here or is the green on here?
I think, what I could do is for our next meeting, I could overlay this with the arts and cultural assets.
Okay.
So we can see what is within that boundary.
Yeah, we're gonna have. That's what I was looking at. Is we're gonna have a bunch in there, and that's what I was trying to include.
But this is helpful. At least this gives us a stalking word. We can use
Yeah.
this to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
if you
need
want,
to establish a geographic boundary.
yeah, and that's really all that I was laying out there. So,
Okay.
so here we, so the way I looked at it was South Pine Creek to South Benson, and
Yep.
then 95 car. And it's funny because a friend of mine mentioned about like I'm trying to think of some of the other things on the other side of 95, including, Fairfield University. But I think one of the things we were discussing is that idea of walking, the walking of the cultural district, rather than, okay, we have something here, let's travel over here, let's travel over there. And that
It's
doesn't
supposed to be
mean,
walkable. Yeah.
yeah, walkable. So that's why, look, I've dealt with enough of these types of things where people just don't like to cross under 95 because they feel they've left an area. When I was working with Bridgeport, downtown Bridgeport, that was a big issue. So anyway, so that's why I was using 95 corridor, and again, South
Very
Pine
good,
Creek.
Sam. Thank you so much. And, Mark, like you said, will do the overlay for next month's meeting and then we can have a motion then and you go ahead and approve it.
Okay, that was.
Anything else under new business?
Yeah, there's something else, right? No?
Hearing none, we're gonna move on to public comments. There are no public comments. There's no public on today, correct?
See, Lynn.
Oh, Lynn.
Oh, we have one.
Lynn. You have any public comment? Lynn, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I wasn't prepared, but I'm really impressed with the progress you're making, and I feel like I'm still not sure what you're doing, but I have faith.
Welcome to the club.
I mean, I feel like your events organization versus like a community building or a place of gathering. So that's what I'm listening for, and I'm excited for what you're doing.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you.
Yay.
Anything else on the public comments?
Thanks, Lynn.
Okay. Our next meeting is February 20th at 6 o'clock here. Everybody's gonna be here in person, correct? So we can get the photos of everybody done.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
There'll be no excuses. TMC, you gotta make, clear your calendar for next, clear your calendar for the 20th.
The last 4 months I've been in Europe for every meeting, so
Oh, I feel so bad for you.
I'll do my best. Okay.
All right, well, don't try, do. You oughta. I'll take a motion to close.
I'll make a
Lou.
motion.
Thanks, Sam.
Second,
Second.
Thank you, everybody.
see you all next week, next month.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great stuff.
38. 39.